28.1.2, whatever you want. So Lance and I read an article from The Hill, which is a decent source, and I'll grant Lance part of his point that uranium, when it comes out of the ground, needs a huge amount of refinement. There's the ore, and you got to pull the uranium out of the ore, and then you have to do further refining to separate the uranium, the relatively rare uranium that's good at exploding and it's good for bombs and in reactors, from the regular uranium. And it takes just a huge amount of refining. And the U.S. had the companies in the U.S., the U.S. uranium by law couldn't leave the U.S. except to go to Canada to be refined a little bit up there and then come back to the U.S. for further refining. According to this article, for 2 years under the deal, from 2012 to 2014, up to 25% of the uranium that was sent to Canada for further refining was scooted away to elsewhere, which probably means Russia. And if that's so, then yeah, they should investigate the whole frickin' thing. I think the amounts are still fairly minuscule compared to, since the U.S. is a very small source of uranium, and but anyway, if uranium was being scooted out of Canada that was supposed to come back to the U.S. by law, then yeah, investigate the whole mess.
And it turns out that the Obama administration was easing up the laws as part of their famous reset so that they could make the deal. So from the very beginning, Obama was working to help the Russians get a hold of our uranium.
Well, I think that probably overstates it. I think it was probably stupidness and sloppiness rather than...
No, people planned it very carefully. He had to go through Congress to pass certain laws to make it all be possible. So what
did the laws do exactly?
Then we have to go back up and read the law.
Well, just tell me roughly, if you know.
My understanding is that it helped get the uranium into this Canadian company's hands, where it could leave the country. And that was passed by Obama in the first year, and that is how they did it. That's how they got it out.
Well, okay, so
in the first year of his administration.
I keep going to never attribute to malice what can be accounted for through stupidity. And I don't necessarily think it's a huge conspiracy to steal our uranium by passing a law that lets our uranium go to Canada for refinement and then by law come back to the U.S. If in Canada the Russians are sneaking some away, it doesn't mean that Obama's part of that conspiracy. It just means that...
I can go back and try to figure out exactly why the law makes Obama look like part of the conspiracy, but never, you keep saying never attribute to malice. The Clinton Foundation, after this all happened, received $140 million to the Clinton Foundation
from a guy who had divested himself from the company in 2000. Yeah, okay. I mean,
that hasn't been investigated.
All right, so it may be that there's enough shit here, probably, that it does need to be investigated. But the same way you can say, that there's nothing with Trump and Russia.
Yes,
and I can say, well, wait till the investigation's done. I can say, wait till the investigation's done.
No, you can't, because I have evidence and you don't.
Flynn is probably going to be arrested this week. And 3 people have already been.
For what?
For lying about his being a paid consultant or representative of Russia. Flynn and his kid.
Okay. Well, they didn't end up serving in the Trump administration for longer than 3 weeks.
3 weeks, yeah, they got canned. But
yeah.
Then you've got 3 other arrests.
Well, they aren't arrests. Nobody's been arrested.
Well, no, one guy already pleaded guilty. Papadopoulos.
Yeah, he pleaded guilty to a procedural mistake. He can't even serve jail time for what he pleaded.
Yeah, because they should be, according to the liberal media that I'm a pawn of, he got that sweet deal because he probably flipped and is testifying against the other people in the administration.
What exactly did Trump do? I'll tell you, I've told you 16 times that Hillary got paid millions and millions of dollars to transfer strategic assets to our enemy.
Yeah, well,
what did Trump
that's
do?
your interpretation.
No, that's exactly what happened.
No, it's not.
She just happened to get $145 million to her foundation after transferring uranium to Russia.
Well, we can't talk about that so much. This is like our third time.
Because it keeps getting more clear and obvious, and you keep skirting around it.
It doesn't. It's all this shit's been
No,
debunked
it hasn't been debunked. We just found out that they transferred it to Asia in that article.
So maybe they kiped some of the uranium, but
what do you mean they kiped it?
You
She
said
sold it to a company that had a 40% Russian interest that was then taken over by a Russian company. They took it to Canada. From Canada, they took it to Asia. It might be in the hands of the North Koreans right now. And you're telling me that's nothing? You've got something very serious about Trump? Tell me what the fuck you have on Trump. What exactly did he do?
I don't know what he specifically did.
Yes, that's right. You don't know.
You're yelling at me. You're yelling at me. You hate when you yell at me. You feel bad later. But there's all these
We're not leaving here until you tell me what Trump did.
Well, I can tell you what some of the possibilities are.
I don't want to hear the possibilities.
Why? That's how investigations
No.
work.
I don't want to hear possibilities. I want to know what he did.
I don't know what he did.
Because he didn't do anything.
That doesn't make sense. Just not knowing what somebody did doesn't automatically mean they didn't do anything. We've had 3 arrests so far, or 3 sets of charges issued.
No arrests.
Well, what is it? You got 2 guys under house arrest.
Nothing's been arrested.
Manafort's under house arrest, under home confinement.
Doesn't matter.
Well, what is it then if it's not an arrest? He's been charged and he's frickin' under home confinement. That seems like an arrest to me. Another guy pleaded guilty.
We're talking about something from before he worked for Trump.
Yeah, but like the investigation's only been going on for I don't know how many months. You've got Watergate ended up with 40 people.
Yeah, you always tell me that. You've got nothing on Trump. You have nothing on Trump. You keep trying to make it seem like you do and you don't.
I'm not. Well, no, you keep making it seem like since the investigation is ongoing that there may be
You don't even know what he's supposed to have done.
Well, I can tell you some of the things that people speculate
I
that
don't
he
want to
did.
hear speculations.
Well, you have to wait till the investigation is over then.
And I have to wait for an investigation to find out if you molested a child.
No, you don't.
Well, no, I speculate that you did. I speculate that you did. And I want an investigation.
There's no evidence that I did.
And there's no evidence that Trump did
No, but
anything.
there is.
No,
evidence.
there isn't. Give me the evidence.
There's the dossier. You're going to say the dossier is all bullshit, except that parts of the dossier have checked out. And
What parts?
the financial entanglements and I don't know. I haven't read the dossier. I know what hasn't checked out yet.
Part of the dossier says that Trump hired Russian prostitutes to pee.
Yeah, that's the least believable and least substantiated part of the dossier. If you want to say the entire dossier is on the level of the P tape that may or may not exist, and probably in my mind, I don't give a that'd be great if it did, but it seems, I don't know. But the other parts have been more substantial. There's no substantiation for the P tape.